I used to live in a village, and I used to work about 30 miles away beyond the city, the capital city, which is Nairobi. And I had a hard time really getting to my job. So this story is about getting to my job and then eventually coming over here. And this current economy is actually giving us, quite a little bit to think about. So this short story is called Survival Perspective in the Current Down Economy. At Nairobi, I have to switch matatus and get on another going to the industrial part of town where I work, and is another 10 miles away. At least this leg of my journey is easier. The roads are paved and decorum a little more respectful. However, I am covered in red mud, the aftermath of my long and tedious journey from my village. I see the stares and questioning looks of those around me, probably wondering how I managed to get so dirty so early in the morning, and in red mud too. At this point, I don't care if my pink sweater is clean. I just want to get to my job. I can't even change into my pink pumps yet, as I'm still wearing my rain boots that are covered in red mud, and I can feel little pieces of mud that are lodged between my toes. I will have to clean my legs and feet when I get to work before I can put my nylons and pink pumps on. The second matatu that I have to take gets me to industrial area without incident and drops me off. As I walk towards my office, I'm wondering what to tell my managing director, Moni, who owns the company. I am the company's receptionist and administrative assistant to Moni. Staff at the company are terrified of Moni, and I am no exception. It is the rumor that his bark is worse than his bite, and luckily I am yet to experience his bite, even though I've been assistant now for the past year. But late is late, no matter what. And I'm afraid his patience with me may have worn thin by now. I check in with the company's accountant and make my way around to the back, outside where I start to clean myself. This is where Moni finds me. I can see you're in the cleaning business, he says. I think of no adequate answer to give him that would accurately display my emotions at that precise moment, as he has no idea what it has taken me to get to work this morning. I respond with a simple and short yes. Moni takes a quick look at me and leaves me alone. Now you can see why moving out of my village is an absolute necessity. Chapter 6. First, let me say this. I'm scared out of my mind. Not because the thought of moving out and living out there in the world by myself scares me, but of what my mother will say. Will she let me? I am not concerned at all about my father. That's a whole different story for another time. Let's just say we are not as close as we used to be when I was a child and thought as a child. All I know is that if I can get my mother to see my survival perspective, then she will be in agreement with me about moving out. Another reason I'm up in arms is due to the fact that I'm the only girl in my family, and no other girl in my village has set the precedence and moved out on her own before. Traditionally, girls only move out of their parents' house when they get married, and this has been the norm and custom for generations. I would hereby be setting a trend. Am I ready to be a trendsetter? Anyway, first things first. I have more important issues than setting trends. I have to tell my mother. I'm ready to move out. I have identified a potential one-bedroom studio apartment within walking distance to my job. Talked to the owner and bought all the necessary appliances for my kitchen, which I've hidden in my bedroom under my bed. Sometimes I wonder if my mother knows, but rarely, if ever, does she go into my bedroom. And if she does this time, oh well, my secret will be out in the open. Gathering courage one day, I let my mother in on my little secret. Her reaction is a huge surprise. Of course I understand, she says. I have seen you struggle to get to work, and I'm all for it. I am dumbfounded at first and then overjoyed. I had no idea my mother realized what a struggle it had been for me to get to work or to socialize with my friends because of where we lived. I took her to view my soon-to-be apartment the very next day, and she loved it. It consisted of one large room and a bathroom, but it was my very own. In my very creative mind, I was already doing the decor. I moved in 2 weeks later, and then the real fun began. And this is towards the end, the last chapter. This is when I'm already here now. People stop and ask me what I find best in America versus Africa. I always respond, driving. The puzzled look on their faces slowly disappears when I explain. In my younger years, having seen women in Kenya hurriedly chasing after matatus with a basket of goods in their hands or on their heads and 2 or 3 toddlers in tow, I had prayed to God that when He blessed me with a child, I would be able to transport my child from point A to point B with minimal stress. I am happy to report that the Lord answered that prayer because I have a beautiful, almost 6-year-old daughter that I happily transport anywhere we need or desire to go in our mid-sized, comfortable green Toyota Camry. I enjoy driving immensely and consider it both a privilege and a blessing that I'm able to drive comfortably without having to be on the lookout for or dodge matatus. So when you think about how horrible a day you're having because of the current economic downturn, you haven't had your daily 4th Starbucks latte, or are complaining about having to drive across the other side of town to pick a friend or attend a meeting, that today is raining cats and dogs, and that you only have $1 to your name, or that your waitress did not lay the cucumber slices facing the tomatoes just like you like them. Think about me trudging along feces-infested mud roads, standing in sardine-packed matatus with disgusting, dirty old men behind me, and yes, the everlasting red mad, and know that it's just a fresh survival perspective you need, and I'm right there in the trenches with you. Thank you.